guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a recipe. It's a traditional recipe, meatloaf, classic meatloaf, but I wanted to show you my recipe and how I use it for freezer meals as well. Everyone does their meatloaf differently. I know there's a million different recipes for meatloaf, so I'm just going to do it the way I was taught. You can do whatever recipe you have for meatloaf, can be frozen as a freezer meal just the same. So what I would do tonight, I'm not going to be freezing this, but what I have done in the past is I will make twice the amount of meatloaf, have one for supper for my family, and freeze the second one and have it for a meal for later on. You can also freeze meatloaf in like smaller loaves, like for a lunch size portion of meatloaf. I know Brent likes to take his lunch to work. Different ones do, and that saves a lot of money on our budget by not having to buy lunch at work. So anyway, let's get started. I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see my ingredients. For my ingredients today, I have 2 pounds of ground beef in a mixing bowl. I will be adding 1 cup of chopped onion, about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, a big squirt of ketchup, I'm not sure how much I use, and bread crumbs as my binder. Also, I'm not exactly sure how many breadcrumbs to tell you, but I will show you, and we'll estimate, right? We'll measure with our heart. Also, I will be putting in 2 eggs. I use 1 egg for every pound of hamburger. That's just kind of a guideline that I go by. So let's get started. I've got my hamburger here. Let's go ahead and put in the seasoning. One cup of onion chopped fine. Sometimes I don't put onion in mine. I will use onion powder instead because I don't really care for onion. But today I put onion in. Here's our Worcestershire sauce. And I'll go ahead and put the eggs in. These are farm fresh eggs. There's 2 eggs. And next, I'm just gonna put a big squirt of ketchup, probably about 1/2 cup. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's about 1/2 cup of ketchup. And the same with the breadcrumbs. I don't know exactly how much I use. Probably about 3/4 cup. And then I will use my hands to just squish it all together. Not my favorite job, but that's kind of how I can tell if I need more breadcrumbs or not. And I can already tell that I need more breadcrumbs. Okay, so now I'm going to say probably close to 1 cup of breadcrumbs for 2 pounds of meat. Meatloaf is such an easy meal to prepare, and it's my husband's favorite, so I make it a lot. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to be shaping it into a loaf and baking it at 350 degrees for 45 minutes to an hour. But this would be the point where you could take half of this mixture and shape it into a loaf and put it in a freezer bag and label it and save it for another meal for your family. But tonight we're gonna bake the whole thing. See, it's no longer sticking to me. It's nice to work with, so that's when I know I've got enough bread crumbs. You could also use cracker crumbs for your binder or oatmeal. And tonight, I'm gonna make, this is gonna be an all-in-one pan dinner. I'm gonna peel carrots and potatoes and chunk them up and put them along the sides to bake beside my meatloaf. So I've left room for that. Now what I'm gonna do is I will put this in the oven and bake it for about 45 minutes. Then I will make my glaze, and I take a cup of ketchup, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, and a tablespoon of brown sugar, and mix that together, and I spread that on top of my meatloaf and bake it for an additional 10 minutes. And that's my meatloaf glaze as well. Okay, we are ready for the oven. Okay guys, there's our finished product, and it smells wonderful. So tonight, for my taste test, because I put onions in the meatloaf, I'm gonna have, Jonathan is gonna do our taste test. So let's get this sliced up. Okay, there's Jonathan's meatloaf. It smells really good.
Yep.
Okay, so, is it hot? So it's good.
Yep.
Okay, meatloaf just like Grandma made it, and now Mom made it. Yep, he's still eating it. It must be pretty good. Okay guys, I'm gonna let you go. Have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.